Hello, my Bandit crew, and welcome back to the channel. If everything has gone according to plan, today is Mother's Day. And today we are going to go over the only mother that we know in the Crash Bandicoot series. Cortexs Mother. This thumbnail actually comes from a fan artist called Droilus. I'm going to put him in the description. We actually don't have Crash Bandicoot's mother as a character in the series. But if Cortex adopted Crash and gave him the name Crashworth Cortex the First, I guess that would make Cortex's mother Crash's grandmother. So Crash can celebrate Mother's Day with Cortex's mother. In this video, we are going to go over all the information that is currently known about Cortex's mother. So it's going to be a lore-heavy video. No theories today. We're just going to be discussing the lore that we know about Cortex's mom. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I release Crash Bandicoot content every weekend. We discuss lore, theories, news, we do tier lists and interviews, and I also have a Crash Bandicoot podcast. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, maybe consider subscribing. Canonically, the first instance that we ever get any information about Cortex's mother is in the Crash Bandicoot Bible, which states that Cortex was raised by a family of clowns and that he murdered all of them. But that has since been retconned and should not be considered canon because we've seen we've heard Cortex's mother, so we know that she's alive. Plus, we have Nina Cortex, meaning that at least one of Cortex's siblings is alive. So the fact that this Bible states that all of his family is dead is incorrect. It also states that the N was tattooed on his forehead to say that he was a nerd, but we've seen images of Cortex as a baby with the N on his forehead, which would have predated anything about getting a tattoo on his forehead in his childhood. There's a lot of other inconsistencies with the Bible that I don't want to get into now because it has no bearing on the mother aspect of this video. But point stands is, I didn't forget. I am just choosing not to include any of that information in this video because I don't deem it canon, nor should you. So the first instance that we actually have of Cortex's mother making an appearance is an audio appearance. And I'm going to play this clip for you right now.
Coming through! Ow! Ladies? No! Excuse me, madam. Are those real? Mother?
So, as you can hear, Crash and Cortex go through Mulan Cortex, and his mother is there. We've got a fan art I'm going to show you now. So ProG drew this image. It's of Crash and Cortex humiliating through Mulan Cortex, and there you see Cortex's mom yelling, "What is it?" and Cortex being confused that his mother is working at Mulan Cortex and says, "Mother?" ? So canonically, the first audio appearance of Cortex's mother is in Twinsanity in that clip I just showed you. Then if we move on, we have audio clips of Cortex talking about his mother in Crash Tag Team Racing. That would be the next.
Oh, how will I ever face Mother?
So, as you can hear, he said, "Oh, how will I ever face Mother?" So that audio clip is when Cortex loses a race, or he gets attacked by another racer in Crash Tag Team Racing. So, despite the fact that his mom doesn't show up in the series, Cortex does want to impress her. So, he can't face his mother when he loses. So, the next game that Cortex had quotes discussing his mother was actually from Crash of the Titans. But all of the quotes from Crash of the Titans, plus the new ones for Mind Over Mutant had better audio quality, so I just chose to disregard the Crash of the Titans quotes and just lump them all into the Crash Mind Over Mutant because it has all of the Crash of the Titans mom quotes plus some new ones.
I told my mother I could beat you. She didn't believe me. Why didn't she believe me?
So, as you could hear there, Cortex, again, wants to impress his mother.
Who's kicking who now, Mom? I just love being a bully.
And then that one is actually sad. It says, "Who's kicking who now, Mom? I love being the bully." So it makes me think that Cortex had an abusive relationship with his mother in the past. So his mom would abuse him when he was a child, which is very sad.
So glad Mom isn't watching this. I think.
And then we have that quote, "So glad Mom isn't watching this, I think." So that makes me believe that potentially his mom has cameras watching him. Either that or he's just a very paranoid individual. And then the last quote from Cortex in Mind Over Mutant. This one is in Mind Over Mutant and not Crash of the Titans. It's over the PA system. You hear Cortex talking on the PA system.
Security! Someone has taken my favorite picture of my mother! Search the building and get it back! I want it returned to its place of honor on top of my urinal immediately!
So, despite the fact that his mom abused him in the past, he has a picture of his mother that he holds sacred to him. And it's above his urinal, so I guess whenever he goes to take a leak, he gets to look at the picture of his mother. And then that brings us to Crash Bandicoot 4. This is the first time in the series that we get a visual appearance of his mother. She's not there physically, but she is there in a portrait hanging up on the wall in Cortex's castle. And another tidbit of information is revealed when Cortex is talking to himself. Cortex travels back in time, and he's trying to convince himself from the past that he is actually Cortex from the future. So he discloses some information that only Cortex would know.
What must I do to prove myself? Mother's name, Sharon. Childhood pet, rock with googly eyes. Favorite food, buttered noodles. Butter on the side. Embryo, change the password to my diary. This brute's been snooping.
So, we get Cortex's mother's name. Her name is Sharon Cortex. There are some other sound clips of Cortex saying, "Ow, mommy," when he gets attacked or hit throughout the Crash Bandicoot series, in Crash Tag Team Racing, and in Crash Mind Over Mutant and Crash of the Titans. When Cortex takes damage throughout those games, he says, "Ow, mommy," or "I need my mommy," none of which really add to the lore, but I wanted you guys to know I did know of those. I wasn't choosing to ignore them. So that's all the information that we have on Cortex's mother. Her name is Sharon. She used to abuse Cortex when he was younger, and despite all this, Cortex still wants to show her that he could take care of business. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't know any of this information, I hope I taught you some Crash Bandicoot lore, and we will see you in the next video. Go tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. Take care.